Good afternoon, everyone. In this third round, I'm here to advocate on the benefit of online education and why it should be chosen over traditional method of education. First, let us look at the world jobs in rise today. Computer, software engineers, psychoanalysts, data researchers and auditors, movies and TV shows production, and freelance jobs. This list of jobs depicts the path our modern society is leading towards. Before arguing what kind of education should we provide, let's argue about what kind of manpower do we need to produce at this trend of the society of the world. Are we still willing to follow the curriculum designed by British Emperor or tyranny who wanted educated yet um, uh, on rebellion clerks? No, of course not. We want to develop ourselves as a competitive being in the world market. And for that, one needs overall knowledge on economics, management, human health, technology, and master one particular subject of interest. If attending college was that beneficiary, then why are students suffering from college depression? Not even top-notch universities are free from the suicide cases occurring in the college itself. Staying far away from home with a lot of academic pressure, no proper food, and no proper care triggers melancholy, which leads to depression, which leads students to fall into depression. What is the use of modern innovation if we cannot use it for our benefit? And there are many other benefits of online education. The first thing would be time management. Each student has a right to maintain their personal calendar. Some students thrive at morning education, but some students find it better to learn at night. So why is it that all students are categorized in the same group and they are made to study at the daytime? Each student can divide their time for education, for internships, or for jobs, and also for many creative works. But but following the traditional method of education doesn't provide time for any other great extracurricular activities, as a minimum of 8 to 9 hours is taken by the schools itself. And traditional university or colleges cost a total of average $85,000. This came from research and not it's not my arbitrary analysis. On the other hand, an online degree is estimated to cost a total of average $30,000. We can see the money a student can save and save himself or herself from having to pay student loan in near future. And also my fellow opponents might argue that though online teaching can provide teachers, but person to person interaction or uh, the facility of having to ask a doubt on the spot cannot be available. But that's wrong. We can find our e-friends from all over the world. We make friends and we talk to strangers, so it's not a big deal to talk to our own teachers personally and ask doubts. And also these days, through various softwares, we get a live streaming of full HD and crystal clear audio classes. Let me remind you that our brain uh, our brain has this material this element called white matter, and scientists have discovered that children need to have stimulation of white matter at a young age so that they can keep up with the pressure of academic world in near future. So the courses designed in online system are specially designed for this stimulation with all sorts of multimedia games which provide students, especially the early age students, a fun and interactive way to learn. So this benefit cannot be neglected, or this benefit we cannot deprive our new generation kids from this benefit. And when we are talking of online education, we are not talking of being in front of screen for 24 hours, though some might argue that the screen, watching at screen for longer period of time causes eye problem. But then we have glasses which protect us from blue rays while using the screen. And again, I said that it's not about 24 hours of screen time, it's few hours of screen time, and saving much more time for real life interaction with our parents, with the people in our society, which won't include curriculum but will include more stronger aspect of life, moral values to learn from our grandparents, or to learn different sorts of culture from our seniors. So that school curriculum excludes real life learning, especially in the Southeast Asian country. Our curriculum isn't designed perfectly. As I said, it was designed to work for British emperors as a clerk. Now, online learning also doesn't mean complete isolation from human world. This point needs to be understood. There was a time when people debated over telephone or mail through post box. Back then, people might not have mobile phones in every houses, but eventually humans widened the prospect of communication. So, if we wish, then internet will be available even in rural areas. If the needs arise, as need is the basis of invention, we cannot forget this fact. Also, one might argue that one cannot have proper library staying at home, but that is not a valid point, since we have Google Scholar, ResearchGate, and other e-library easily available at one click of the mouse. We can find research paper and journals of great professors of Harvard University or of any other great universities in the internet itself. Also, there are many sites like Coursera, Unacademy, Byju's, which help students from junior level to pre-med students, and also pre-engineering students through effective learning. Uh, Let me tell you about summer courses provided by the universities in USA. Usually for summer courses, students had to be physically present there. But this year, amidst the unfortunate event of pandemic, but this year students are little bit of students are fortunate a little bit, since they are getting to attend summer schools being provided by Harvard or by California University and other top universities. We cannot get the certificate without paying, but if you want to learn, you can learn in free. Let me also inform you that, though this is not the topic of pandemic, but due to this pandemic, IELTS and TOEFL have been affected, and apps like Duolingo is being used for English proficiency score. So TOEFL can cost around 20,000 rupees, but Duolingo will only cost you around 5,000 rupees. And universities are also accepting Duolingo tests. Since we cannot be physically present at the test centers. So why are we not following the more economical benefit part instead? Economical benefit part. Also, I do not want to advocate the complete utopian state of online learning. I know it's not possible for many professions. So that for that we have this system called blended learning model, which says that a student learns theories part at home, but for practical they have to be physically present at the field. Let me talk about nursing. For nursing program, online anatomy course can be conducted at house, but nursing simulation lab should be conducted at the campus. So on the 6 days, 6 working days of weeks, if I study 4 days at house, then even 2 days at the college itself will be very effective, since I've already practiced all of the theories at home by self-learning. Similarly, in engineering program, drawings and theories can be studied at home, but field study can be conducted once or twice a week. And there are many other programs like English, philosophy, or languages, which do not require much of a physical presence in the classroom. It's the same thing that we hear from professors, even if we are at house or even if we are in the class. It's the same slides that we have to watch. This mandatory attendance of 75% has to be removed near in the near future. This pandemic has also showed us that this attendance form is not at all effective, and online form along with the traditional form few days a week has to be taken into practice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Asta. Next speaker is Simran Karki for the topic.
Okay, namaste, and once again, this is me, Simran, and I'll be talking for the topic, which means that I'll be favoring traditional education over online education. So this topic was quite easier for me because I didn't have to do any sort of, preparations. I didn't have to look at the Google for the facts, as it was in other topics, like I had to check Google. But right now, I can talk about my personal experience, and everybody here has also felt whatever I did. So before we it was the first time, due to this pandemic, this was the first time I was having online classes. So before this lockdown started, a couple of days back, I had gone to my village side, which is in Dolakha, to visit my grandmother. So then I got stuck due to lockdown over there, and after 10 days I received a message from my college that they'll be starting online classes and I'll be having to attend that. So I just try to have access through internet, and we live in Nepal. First thing, we cannot forget that we are living in Nepal. We are not staying in USA, UK, Canada, or any sort of developed countries. We are living in Nepal. The first thing that we need to understand. So then I just thought of taking the online classes, and the first thing that I got to realize was that the internet connection at my home was not good. The reach was not good, so I had to go a place which is 10 minutes far from my home to attend my classes early in the morning, only at 7 a.m. And the next thing is the internet charges are really very high in Nepal, as we all know that. And okay, I just thought they are not affordable, but still I managed to take them. And I just went to a place which is 10 minutes far from my home. I just went there and took my online classes, and what I realized was that it was not effective as it used to be in the classroom. You might say you can have proper conversation with the teacher through online classes as well. You can clear your doubts. But let me tell one thing. My fellow opponent just said that if you want to clear the doubts, you can just clear them through the online classes. But the one thing is, if you have an argument with one of your friend, then can you completely rely and can you completely solve that problem just relying on that video calls or phone calls? Can you do that? No, you need to meet that friend to talk about that particular problem, and you need to solve that out, right? So if you need to meet that friend, if you need to meet a buddy to clear your personal problems, then those are the problems about mathematics, it will be about physics, it will be about chemistries. And uh, I, me personally, I really could not solve my problems through the online classes. And the next thing was, I already talked about the high internet fees that we need to pay to the internet providers. And the next thing my fellow opponent said was, nowadays the world is developing and we are having SD services and crystal clear screen. Okay, so talking about that, we in Nepal, the poverty, the poverty has not been eradicated completely. We all know that. And here are a lot of students who cannot even afford for a book and a copy. And how can you even expect that student to purchase a good mobile phone, a good laptop, and all that things? We had seen that in news as well. Due to this pandemic also, there was a huge demand for laptop, there was a huge demand for mobile phones in the market, and the price has hiked. And if the demands for the laptop and mobile phone keep growing due to some online classes and online education system, don't you think the prices is going to hike as well? And it's going to be very tough for so many parents out there to afford for all that laptops and other sort of technological devices required. And the next thing my fellow opponent said was, internet will be provided because needs leads to invention. So talking about that, maybe you know that very well, my fellow opponent, and everybody present here knows that very well, that there are so many places in our country where people are not provided with health facilities, with road facilities, transportation. They are deprived of electricity. Weren't they the need of the people? Don't they come before internet and all those online services? They surely do, right? But still, there are so many people who are deprived of all those things. We need to keep that in mind as well. So if we could not like follow, we could not implement that online classes for just a certain period of time during this pandemic, then how can we even think that for now we can think of like bringing online education system in our country, where so many people are deprived of their basic needs? How can you even expect those people to like buy all those sort of gadgets and like start having online classes? So, and the next thing is, are our teachers qualified enough to provide us the online education? My fellow opinion mean that we need to like import all the teachers from abroad? First of all, we need to educate our teachers, right? To be very honest, that is a very like dark secret, or whatever you call it, a bitter truth, that our teachers are not also properly qualified when it comes to using technologies. So being very honest, let me say one thing. When I was in my school time, my principals didn't even know how to use a phone very well. We used to teach her about the features. They didn't know how to send an email as well. So there are some people like that, and those people, how can those teachers teach us? Now, do you mean like you, all those teachers who have been teaching us through traditional like system, you want to like throw all those people out of their job and bring some sort of qualified, and like maybe from other part of the country, or maybe from out of the country, bring them in and let them teach us this online education system? Does my fellow opponent mean to say that? So we need to start, like we need to think practically. We need to think where we are, what are our basic needs, what comes before like being advanced. I agree that we need to walk like work simultaneously with other countries of the world, but this does not mean that like we will have to forget where we are, what we come from, what our basic needs are, what people in our countries are getting and what our people are not getting. So what I believe is, for now, the traditional system is really very good, because it helps the student understand the whatever they need to understand, as well they can have a proper communication with the teacher as well. And it is not affordable. Online education is not affordable. All the people in this country cannot afford that. The gadgets required for the online education is not affordable. The internet services is not affordable. Many people in many part of our countries, the people are not getting the internet service as well. So I totally support the traditional system. Thank you.
Thank you, Simran, for your point of view on traditional education and online education. So the next speaker is Srikant Kabra, speaking against the topic.
Yes.
I'd like to raise a question. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Um, my fellow opponent said that she talked of cost when she said that we cannot afford online education. But then, wouldn't it be effective if we could minimize the cost of books, the bulky books that cost rupees 1,000? If we could minimize that, because we easily get PDF books online. And teachers, and when she talked about teachers, it's true that even our parents, our grandparents also couldn't use all these modern facilities, but then they learned, there's nothing that human beings cannot learn. It's not about going to moon with a rocket, it's about using a phone. And I'm sure our principal has learned by now. That's how she is that's how she's taking online classes these days. So and also, if our teachers learn to use these equipments, there will be less generation gap between teachers and students. And also, teachers cannot beat students and provide physical punishments, so it's very effective to go online.
Can I talk about it?
Yeah. You have 20
Am I
seconds to
allowed?
answer. After that,
Okay,
no
sure.
questions.
I'll be using that time. So my fellow opponent just said that the teachers can learn from that, but how long will it take for the teachers? Like, my principal belonged to Kathmandu Valley. She grew up here. She was born and brought up here. But there are so many teachers who teach in the rural places of Nepal, like Mustang, Manang. How are you going to teach those teachers to teach the students through the online services? And you were talking here about the bulky books and all that. Some of the books are also provided by the government itself, but I don't think the government will be able to provide a laptop to each of the students. The government will be able to provide like internet services in all the houses. So for now, we need to be practical. We should not keep the thing in the mind that the USA is going to this place, so we need to reach that. Let's not think about that. We need to like develop, we need to focus on developing and like fulfilling the basic needs first, then the secondary needs comes after that. Thank you.
Okay, so I think Asta has got her answer. Srikant, next
Yes.
7 minutes is yours. You can speak.
Thank you. Good afternoon, one and all again. I am Shrikant Kabra, and I am here to speak that way of education is better, way better than the traditional way. In online education, you can learn more things in less time, and you can learn what you want more importantly, because when the time it takes for you to go to school and come from school, that time you can consume the time for learning a new thing instead of sitting on the bus. You can learn something in your home. Your teachers can teach you, and it's not that the teachers don't know how to use technology. You're never too old to learn. If I give you a programming language to learn, can you learn Java? Like today, Java is implemented here. Can you learn it in one day? No, right? So it takes time for even teachers to learn something. Everyone has needs some time to learn. Yeah, if like my fellow opponent said, like the principal did not know how to use a phone or even send an email. She's never too old to learn. It was newly implemented for her. A new thing cannot be learned in a day or in a week. It's everything takes time, right? So that can't be done so fast. Everyone has to be comfortable with technology, as that's the future. A future can't be predicted so easily, but that's how it's growing right now. The technology is growing. You need to learn about the technology, and you have to be comfortable with it, and you have no option. You have to learn how to learn online, because especially at this pandemic time, you have to learn you have to know how to learn online. There are many ways. I myself got a course from Stanford for free. Not everything takes money, or not everything is expensive. You can get things for free. I have there is The school's library is way smaller than the internet archive, the library of the internet. There are hundreds of sources you can get in internet to learn anything. You want to learn engineering, you can do that. You want to prepare for something, you can do. You want to become a programmer, you can learn it for free online. There's no one can stop you from learning anything ever. You yourself are the person who is learning. Many people just skip their online classes. Would you do that if you were in school right now? In school you can't, because the teacher is seeing you. And if you're learning online, like at this time, it's your mistake that you are doing that. Education is important. And instead of this, even school education, simultaneously you can learn something new. You can learn how to program, because highest that's the highest job right now. You people are hiring programmers more than any other people. And many people are not getting jobs, right? As my fellow opponent said, many people are not getting jobs there. The government is not there. They're not getting jobs, and they can't afford anything. They can't afford mobile phones. You can then what do you use to talk to your friends? Which device are you using to play your games? Is that your mobile phone? Isn't that your mobile phone? Or is it the small button phones that come? Are you playing games in that? No, right? You have your mobile phones. You're using that to talk to your friends. You're using that to play games. So you can use that to learn something new. I myself learned how to program in the starting from a mobile phone. And people in those places don't have good jobs because they were not introduced to technology as faster, right? They did not want to learn the technology at that time, because they thought that the traditional way is good. Traditional ways are always not better. You need to learn how to change. You need to be open minded to change the way you think. You have to be open minded to change the way you learn, to change the way you think, to change the way you teach. Everything has some time. Okay, I'm not saying that you learn programming today and you'll get a job. No, you take some time, but you need to go and find the jobs, right? Jobs don't just come to you. And even if you find some jobs, you go and you find a job. It's not important, because you have to be perfect in that. These days, even by playing, you can get jobs. Gamers are getting so many jobs these days because they know how to design many things. They have more creative capacity than an artist these days. They play games. They know what it is like to be played, and they know how it is going, how everything is coming. That's why online education more important than traditional education. In traditional educations, they just teach what they're learning in the school. The teachers are teaching what they know. You can learn more than the teacher in just 24 hours. Your English teacher, not only she does knows English, she knows almost all the subjects you learn, but you can learn more. It does not take a lot of time. It does not take like a 4 years, 5 years to learn something new. If you really want to learn something, you can do it in least amount of time. And if you don't want to, it's your mistake. Your life is in trouble. People don't mind. It does not. People don't give a crap about what you learn. People don't. People. It does not affect any people. It does not affect anyone. It's you who makes your future. It's you who decides. It's you who decides what to learn and why you want to learn. It's you who can learn. Thank you.
Thank you, Srikanth. Our next speaker is Veer Chandrikamati, speaking for the topic. And the next 7 minutes is yours. Please turn on your mic and camera.
Yeah. So let me just so let me start. Namaste everyone. A very warm good afternoon to all of you. Introducing myself again. I'm Veer Chandrikamati, the student of grade 12 of Dhanusa Science Campus. I'm 18-year-old. I am from Janakpur. Here is me presenting myself for the online debate competition of the third round organized by the YDS Youth Development Society. The theme of my debate is what better, traditional or the online education. I'm here talking about the traditional education. I mean to say that personally I think that the traditional education is far better than the online education. Here traditional doesn't mean those education that our ancestors practiced but the physical education. So don't get confused, my fellow mates. What is traditional education? Actually, the traditional education means what we used to practice physically, yeah, of course, before the lockdown or this corona period. Yeah. Traditional education is the best. I should not have to tell everyone the importance of it. Firstly, this offers us the paper-based education. What does that mean? Paper-based means we are allowed and tend to learn by writing and reading through the paperwork. Paper-based means we are allowed and tend to learn through that. What we practice and what we do ourselves gonna be more beneficial for us just rather than that we are listening from the teacher and reading from the mobile screen as PDF or the image format. And it is proved from the researches that one who follow paper-based succeed more than the one who not. Secondly, through the traditional education, students can able to interact with their friends in their classroom. They can able to discuss about the topics in a better way. They get enjoyed and have fun while studying. But as we are talking about the online education, the interaction is almost impossible. Yeah, even some of the teachers let students mute themselves so that they cannot disturb. But just with this intention, a student cannot be able to understand it better. We can able to learn better if we have an actual eye contact with the teachers while we are studying. Teachers need to pay attention with the each and every student, which is only possible in the physical class, but not in the online class. Thirdly, let's talk about the entertainment part. Yeah, it's obvious that we entertain ourselves when we are in home. But what I'm talking about that, the quality of being entertained with friends in classes is not even comparable with the mobile stuff that we are using for the entertainment. Most of the students find education and studying in school with friends is fun. And it's necessary that we have to learn with fun. There's a famous saying by Professor Walter Lewis, a physics philosopher. Yeah, physics is fun. He said that. And I quote that, whatever we learn, we must learn with the fun. Fourthly, let's talk about the discipline. Okay, discipline is the key to get the success, right? So here is my point that it's obvious that we are not even concentrating in our online classes. I'm doing so, and there is not even a thought of being disciplined when we are not attending our physical or traditional classes. Usually, students mute turn off their videos and even sometimes speaker too, so they can't even get disturbed through any different words. Now imagine that what type of education is this? It's nonsense. Saying this is even a type of education. A student have to think. Even after thinking, they can't get out of the classes without the permission of the teachers in the physical classes. That leads the students to be more disciplined, more focused, more intentional, and more productive. What's the education? Traditional education. Moreover that, fifthly, let's talk students get the environment of studying, the environment of concentration. In other words, people around them are also the students. It's human nature to adapt the things that surrounds us, like even if you are not in the mood of studying, but people around us are studying. Your mood get into that, and ultimately you do start studying. Isn't that mesmerizing? Yeah. That's the power of the environment and the circumstances. Sixthly, yeah, we must have the competition for progress, right? When you are studying in the classroom, you get a chance to compete with our fellow mates in every subject, and even in short interval leads to develop an individual in the higher pace. Seventhly, let's talk about practicals. Yeah, Theory is one thing, but practical is also the major part of the learning in school and colleges. We are not even dreamed of learning or getting enough knowledge without doing practicals. Practicals plays an important role in students' learning. This can be taught to the students while they are physically present in their classroom, but not in the online class. It's quite impossible. Why to go so far? Let me give a short example of my house. Yeah, my elder brother joins the classes of engineering daily, not for the learning, as these online classes makes him bored and make him the irritation, feeling of irritation. 6 hours, that long 6 hours of online education drives him crazy and really frustrating. Not only it makes him tired, but also degrading his eyesight by sitting on that screen. I was there just been surprised with this act, but that's the fact. How can one able to learn practicals through the online? And most importantly, we are living in an underdeveloping country, Nepal, yeah, which is very back in the access of the internet everywhere. Unless we have a computer and an internet connection, we can learn through the online. But we know there are a lot of students suffering from the lack of these steps. What's going to be the future of those students? Okay, fine. Through a lot of the difficulty, they get the mobile and the connection too. But the instability in network is really a big trouble. Like really, I felt that, and I'm sure most of you have suffered that too. Yeah, all the above facts makes quite clear that traditional education is far better than the online education. We are not even dreamed of progressing our students' ability in great extent just through the online. So I personally believe that we must practice the traditional education for the betterment of the student, for the betterment of the country, and for all over the world as well. Thank you once again, YDS, for giving me this opportunity. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Veer, for your such a motivating and good speech for this topic. In the same energetic way that you have presented yourself since the first round and second round, and it was good to listen to you your speech. And our next speaker is Shreyans Bhagat.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Please continue.
Learning is a treasure that will follow its owner everywhere. Again, it's me, Shreyans Bhagat. Hello and namaskar to one and all present here. I'm a grade 8 student, and today in this platform organized by YDS, I take the opportunity to present my views on the topic. Traditional education is better than online learning, but I take the side of online learning because I prefer it more. Now, let me explain what the both term means. Traditional education, the traditional classroom where a teacher moderates and regulates the flow of information and knowledge. Face-to-face lectures, teaching them online, beating them, and then other things. That's a common traditional classroom. Now, what's an online learning? Because for many of us, online learning is a new thing. After the COVID began, we started to know what online learning actually is. Online learning involves courses offered by post-secondary institutions that are 100% virtual, excluding massively open courses such as photography courses. I myself took photography courses. There are different courses worldwide, online courses that are not in the traditional education that we used to say before. Now, I personally like online education, though I have not experienced so much, but how much I experience, according to that, I believe that the online education have more benefits. Now, let me tell you what I feel as the benefits of online education. Flexibility. I, as a student, which used to go far from my home, from the bus to just to attend my school. But now sitting at my home, I just open my laptop and then I can connect to the entire class. Student have got the freedom to juggle their career schools because they are tied down to a fixed schedule, right? We can get courses whenever we want. We can get some extra courses whenever in free time, or we can skip also. There's reduced cost too, like 1200 or 1500 of going to the schools or wasting your uniform or then buying of books and copies. We can make PDFs, right? That has reduced the cost. Online education can cost less due to variety of reason, right? Now, networking opportunity. Through network, we are connecting. Now, many of my participants have said, fellow participants said that Nepal is an underdeveloping country. But in Nepal, what I believe that in Nepal, the internet came after very a long time. Although our internet came after so many time, but we developed, right? We have now the capability of launching a 5G network, and that's a very big thing. If we believe in our country, then only our country will develop. Increase instructor access to expertise, not only our teachers, we have access to teachers all around the world. Now, some of my fellow participants said that the teachers are not ready to go to the online classes. They don't know how to control all the technologies, right? We also did not know we are delivering our speech and thoughts here, but when we come to the world, we were just keeping a finger in our mouth and then saying mama or dada, right? It will take them some time. We also started gaming from that snake mobile and in the Nokia, and then now we are playing different battle royals, right? So everything has its own disadvantages also. Now traditional learning, I don't believe is student focus set is wrong direction. Too much focus on presentation, little time for practice, just focus on grades, just focus on what percentage and marks they are going. Now they say that they don't have enough material, right? So physically we won't be able at a place, but mentally we can be able, right? We can mentally be at a place. Just let me show you one example. I am right now sitting in my home. In just 1 second, I'm at my school. In just another second, I'm at the hill. And the second, I just go to the random world. Isn't it interesting? It is new for many people, but I think it will be interesting. It will be more fun. Some of my participants said that people off their mic, people just start playing and then don't concentrate on what they are reading. It happens in normal school also, right? Backbenchers, even if when I used to feel bored of the classes and then just listening to teacher, I with my friends used to go on the backbench, some hang out, do gossips, and then just spend the time. That happens in traditional also, and that happens in online also, right? Everything has a good aspect and a bad aspect, but I think online education also have a good aspect and a bad aspect too, because we continue to sit on 6 hours, 7 hours on the laptop, but we have Blu-ray cartridge. Everything is possible if we try to do that. It's our will. Now, I would like to say that the traditional method of learning have become old. We also did not used to study on, we started studying from a slate and blackboard. Now we study to presentation from different things. We gradually develop. So why not education system of Nepal? Nepal is the first time that online education are attended in the COVID time. Now I feel that I don't like actually the method of teaching rather than the online. A teacher lecture is generally one size fits all. Nowadays in many schools there are no virtuality. They just teach, they just explain, but we can't understand what you feel. But in today's world, through online education, we can go into a different world that is virtual reality. We can experience lots of things around the internet. Reduces of course, and I feel that online education is better. Now let me say you one point. We all develop. Like learning is a treasure that will follow its owner, as I already said. If one has a will, then only it will develop, right? Even in school, if we are not interested in anything, then we don't like to study that and we get failed in the subject. And same is in online learning too. If we are not interested, that's our fault, because we are not paying attention. That goes on us. That doesn't affect the online education. There are still millions of people who are dependent on online education, who take studies and different courses to online education. Now let me say one common point what I feel between the online education and the traditional way of method. The friendship that we people say that we get aparted from our mentors and teachers, but that's not only limited to the time of COVID-19. As I have experienced that, we might get online learning even after COVID-19 hits. And what if we want to connect to our friends, we can go. In fact, in that also there is a benefit. When we used to go for a group study, we need to carry lots of books and then heavy bags and then we should go. But now a laptop or a phone and lots of PDF are stored in a single device. Isn't it easy for us? Now, at last but not the least, I would like to say that whether we study online education or traditional education, it totally depends on us how we do that, how we perform in whatever field we are interested in. How we perform in whatever field we are interested in totally depends on us. I believe online method will be good in future, because in future we are about to go into the world of crazy technology all around us. So I think online education is important and is better than the traditional way of teaching. Now I like to end my thoughts here. Hope you all stay safe. Thank you.
Shreyans, it was great listening to your speech. And our next speaker is Srishti Kabra speaking for the topic. Please turn on your camera and mic.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Let's start. Hey everyone, it's me Srishti Kabra and I'm here to talk about online classes versus traditional classes in the favor of motion. First of all, let's know about the importance of traditional learning before online learning got in the game. On campus, learning was the only efficient learning format. multiple benefits students typically gain from traditional campus learning aren't limited to study only. While on campus, students get to hone their social skill by interacting with both their teachers and colleagues. It creates a routine which the students have to follow, and it turns out to be great. This will bring punctuality and discipline. Now let's know about its advantages. As online learning has become more and more popular in the internet era, traditional classroom learning continues to be a tough contender. Despite its advantages, online learning cannot replace traditional education. It many perks will make sure of it. Now let's talk about some inarguable reason for traditional learning. Active learning. One of the top reasons that traditional campus life can benefit of a student college life is having contact with professors and instructor. With online learning, the options are limited. On campus, student can set up face-to-face meeting with their professor to discuss the class, their performance, or a project. Not all major can be taught online. If a student is considering a major in nursing, in agriculture, in biology, in music, or theater, online classes can only get them so far. While it is easy to take some required classes online in these measures, the classes that include labs, clinical practice, or performances cannot be done with a traditional campus class. Having a traditional campus learning environment for these measures will provide access to equipment and materials they would normally have not to access with that online classes. Access to libraries and research materials. A university campus library is always a busy place for students to study, collaborate, and do research for paper and projects. Without easy access to research materials held by the universities and everything that the library has to offer, a student cannot always reach their full potential with in depth to study in particular field. Learning is scheduled. University officials organize the courses in that way that all the students can attend them. Attending classes means joining the class on time. And this way, students will get a routine of their own, which will inevitably make the students punctual and disciplined. As they practice being punctual throughout the academic they'll be built those habits and carry them into adulthood. Extracurricular activities. There are some school experience you won't gain in any other place. Field trips, school activities, and different clubs. Other place, part of which you can be are just some of those experiences. From each of those activities, you will take life lesson will be beneficial in your future. Traditional classroom have been competing with the increasingly popular virtual classes even since information technology started to develop. Online courses are an alternative to regular classrooms for students who have to obtain a degree cheaper and faster. In a year or two, students can earn diploma without even knowing their teachers or colleagues. Still, many students consider traditional classroom a more efficient way of learning and improving social skill. By this, I would like to conclude my speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Srishti. Next speaker is Rizin Lama. Are you here? Rizin Lama, are you here? Okay, she's not here. She was a good speaker. She lost her chance. Rizan Khatri. Rizan Khatri, are you here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here, sir.
Yeah, you are speaking for the topic. Next 7 minutes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. It's me, Rizan Khatri. I'm sharing my views for the traditional education is better than the online classes. First of all, what is traditional education? What defines the term traditional education? Traditional education is defined as teacher-centered centers a delivery of instructions while to the class, and the receivers are the students. There is two-way communication in traditional classes. Like a teacher teaches and a student receives the information given by the teacher. And if students have any doubt in class, the student might ask the teacher on the spot, so I didn't understand this, can you please elaborate, or something like that. But in the online classes, I don't think that those facilities are in practice. Like I'm reading my college classes are continued in online class like Teams app, Microsoft Teams. But I never got a chance to ask the teacher, while I was in class, I used to raise hands, sir, I didn't understand this. But now the teacher said, please ask in last, please ask in last. I'm disturbed here. You are interrupting my class like this. But while the same teacher was in the class, I'm talking about my personal experience. While the same teacher was in class, he used to say in Nepali, ke bujhinas bhan, like what didn't you understand, tell me, ask me. And I used to ask, raise my question, and I used to get my answer. But now teachers tell to uh, keeps on postponing my that questions asked me at the last. And while I'm at the end, I forgot what question was that. I forgot what to ask. The same enthusiasm wasn't in me while in the first while I was asking in the first place. And there are other advantages of traditional education, maintaining interpersonal relationship. And I think you all have friends which you can share your feelings, your joys, happiness. You can all maintain those relationship of friends in the college, not. But I find it hard in the online education, because the same person was in the next classroom of mine, but uh, I used to see her. But in online classes, we can't even know is she in class or not. No one talks no one is interactive in the online class. Like, sir, I didn't know this. Sir, I didn't know this. But in traditional education, it's possible, because all of their mental and physical body both are present in traditional, while the physical presence is absent in the e-classes, like online classes. And uh, extracurricular activities also are in the process of learning. Like, if you only read and write, your mind will be hampered, your body will be stressed out. And what will you do to make your body and mind fresh? And that's all that the colleges and school focus on. They provide a separate ground, football ground, basketball ground, futsal ground. They all provide this because they find that the students lag concentration if they keep on going on studying for hours long. So they put a break in the between of the classes for the refreshment of their mind and body both. uh, and the next thing is learning in traditional is a way far better than the online education. It's not comparable in my personal point of view. And what is more there is in traditional education is increase in responsibility. Like, we must maintain discipline, we must not go outside the class without the teacher's permission. Like, we must keep quiet while the teacher is teaching or elaborating something that we didn't know. But in online class, no one focuses on the teacher, like sitting in front of mobile or laptop for hours long. Our eyes also get stressed, our body starts feeling stressed out. And they talk about, and my fellow speaker of opposition speaker told that blue rays light stops the hamper of our stressed eye. And what about the body that stressed out? Are there any devices for making our body active like those of our eyes? No, we see or just sit on a table and chair for hours long, seeing at the same mobile. Our I don't think our mind captures 100% the teachers told us in class, like in online class. We cannot uh, sorry, what was next one? And I would like to talk about my fellow participants. Networking challenge. They say that network is available, but what about the nowadays condition of network? My same my half of the in my college, half of the students are not joining the online classes because they don't have access to the internet. They might have the cellular data, but what if the cellular data might not work in Humla, Jumla, in Rasua? What about the rural areas where there are no access to the internet facilities? I would like to conclude my speech by saying that online classes are not those that effective than that of traditional education. Thank you.
Thank you, Reason. Our next speaker is Krisa Pokhrel, speaking for the topic. Krisa, are you here?
Hello and good afternoon to everyone present here. I'm here to speak in favor of online learning. Nowadays, online learning turns out to be more and more practiced. Many traditional universities started to share their courses online for free. It represents an easy and comfortable method to achieve knowledge in almost every field, from law and accounting to human sciences.
Krisa, am I audible? Okay. I think she has some network problem. Let's wait for 2 minutes.
Really sorry, I had some network issue. Can I start from the beginning?
Yeah, okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Krisha Pokhrel, and I'm here to speak in favor of online learning. Nowadays, online learning turns out to be more and more practiced. Many traditional universities started to share their courses online for free. It represents an easy and comfortable method to achieve knowledge in almost every field, from law and accounting to human sciences such as psychology and sociology or history. Online learning is a great alternative to traditional universities, especially for people who can't afford the time and money to take real courses. Although many people still consider traditional universities as the best way to achieve knowledge and get a diploma, online learning proves to be a great alternative. Students have the chance to study in their own time and especially for free. It represents a great way to study many fields and to boost the level of self-motivation. Online learning is so effective because students can finish their homework quickly and there is more time left for hobbies or finding a job. And access to all resources of a traditional course and access to all resources of an online course help participants learn wherever they are, leaving them the freedom to choose the time for study. With basically an internet connection, a person can attend different courses. My fellow opponent said that online education is not convenient because teachers and students cannot interact personally, but according to a research, online classes have been research has shown that students in online learning performed better than those receiving face-to-face instruction, but it has to be done right. There are many advantages of online learning. Uh, the first one is it's very convenient. This is obviously the greatest benefit of online learning. As long as you own a computer and have an internet connection, it doesn't matter in which part of the world you are. Learners can access information from anywhere, anytime. Furthermore, distance is no longer a barrier to learning, whether academic or professional. Especially for corporate training, the ability to reach an unlimited number of employees quickly and regardless of their location has greatly benefited organizations all around the globe. Online learning is simple. Learning becomes easier when aligned with one's learning needs and preferences. Online learning allows learners to study at their own pace, whether they are students, busy adults, or employees. Assignments due dates aside, your audience is given the freedom to personally build their own learning schedule and choose where and when to learn. Speaking of where, mobile learning offers your audience the ability to keep up with their learning wherever they are, at home, on a bus, in the park, as long as they have a mobile device with them. Especially regarding corporate training, the cost effectiveness of online learning is quite impressive. No more travel and accommodation expenses for trainers and employees. Reusable online content, budget cuts on training materials, especially if your company or school has an online training or online classes budget. Online learning is different people learn in different ways, and online learning does everything in its power to ensure that all learning needs are met. Instructional designers and e-learning professionals create online courses that address almost all learning behaviors and accommodate all learning preferences. With online learning, it doesn't matter whether your learners are visual, acoustic, or kinesthetic. There is a very wide variety of learning methods and tools that can be used to support learning while meeting all needs. Not only learners are able to begin their online learning immediately, but they are also able to see immediate results, whether self-paced or instructor-led. Online learning provides a variety of ways to offer constructive feedback to the audience. Furthermore, online learning allows for immediate access to additional online resources, which is always a bonus. With online learning location, no with online learning location is no longer a barrier, neither are culture and nationality. Translating and customizing your online courses to address different cultures in various languages makes possible for your e-learning content to travel all around the world and reach the widest possible audience. This is particularly effective for your online training program, as you can use the same training material for your globally distributed workforce and ensure that all of your employees are aligned with your company's brand, value, and vision. Today's online learning is better than yesterday's, and online learning of tomorrow will be better than today's. Multimedia, gamification, interactivity, constantly improve technology in general, provide a wide variety of applications and tools that not only update online learning, but also they make it more effective. The best part, you know that once you update your e-learning course, your audience will have immediate access to the updated version as soon as they click a mouse button. Let's take the example of this competition itself. We are here from different parts of the world and out of Nepal too. It's just because of modernization in online education we are able to participate here. If online education was not practiced, many of us would not have participated. In this case, my dear fellow opponents, are you still going to say that traditional education should be practiced and uh, so, uh, are you still going to say that traditional education should only be practiced? Online learning can be as good or even better than in-person classroom learning. One disadvantage of traditional learning is the tendency of teachers to exhibit favoritism towards students. Though this is typically because of the performance, it can also be from students sucking up to teachers, lending them an unfair advantage over others who spilled blood and tears just to get a passing C. In traditional classroom, students' focus is set in the wrong direction. Their focus is in taking notes instead of understanding and engrossing new ideas. Similarly, there is too much focus on presentation and just a little time is left for practice. Similarly, a teacher's lecture is generally one size fits all. Thus, I would like to conclude by saying that online education then can serve two goals. For students lucky enough to have access to great teachers, blended learning can mean even better outcomes at the same or lower cost. And for the millions here and abroad who lack access to good in-person education, online learning can open doors that would otherwise remain closed. Thank you.
Thank you, Krisa. We have come to the end of our program. So before going further, I would like to request everyone to turn on your camera. We will take a screenshot. Then I will take more 5 minutes and then we'll leave. Please everyone turn on your camera. Shreyans, Safreet, Vijay, Srishti, okay. So we have come to the end, and it was quite good talking to you all, listening to you all since the beginning of the program. Is there anyone who would like to speak for YDS? If you are connected with us since the beginning, when we have started, would you like to speak something?
Hello.
Yes.
So I've been part of YDS when you organized the first time debate season 1. So I did not thought it will go so far. I have attended so much webinar and this was the most fun of all because I thought every participant was so good and then the way you organized the meeting.
Am I audible? Yeah.
Thank you for joining the debate.
I'm so sorry, I was having some internet connection problem. It is consistently disconnecting since the beginning. It was really good to hear from you all. And not only we have judged on the basis of your speaking, not but just by seeing you all how you are speaking, we were having some format of judging, and our judges have mentioned some given 1 minute. Yes, our judges have mentioned some points under your four criteria that were organization clarity, use of argument, use of examples and fact, and presentation style. All these four criteria mattered, and since the beginning we are judging on these four criteria. And these were and I think everyone enjoyed joining us, speaking here, listening to others, and we hope for this kinds of support for our next program as well. Keep supporting us, share our events, share our ideas, or even you can contact us if you want to share your idea, if you want to conduct some event, if you have amazing ideas, unique ideas that have not been conducted yet. If you want to conduct it, if you want to share with us, you can. We will be happy to hear from you. You can contact us through email, through WhatsApp, or on our Facebook page. And about the result of this debate competition, the results to be announced is tomorrow 10 a.m. and all the one who will secure first, second, and third position, each individual's video will be posted on our page and on our YouTube channel individually for only of the final round. And we'll also have one special mention for the top fourth speaker. For the fourth position will get participation certificate and as well as certificate of appreciation, and all the participants and the winners first, second, and third will receive participation certificate and certificate of excellence. Thank you for being here, and good to see you all. Hope everyone enjoyed. Would you like to share something more with us? Is there anyone who want to speak?
Yes, sir.
Is there anyone who wants to speak, share your
Yes,
ideas?
sir. No, some ideas not, but I would like to tell about something about this event.
Yes, please.
Uh, this is my first time in debate. Like I haven't participated in a single competition during this lockdown on online. Like it's my first experience in online debating, so it was very uh, not. I was very nervous at the first round, like what to tell, and I stuck in some of the points too, and the level of confidence from round 1 to round 3 had a difference between a sky and land type of vast difference was there on my confidence level. This program helped me in bringing a courage to speak in front of others, mass, like there aren't people in physical, but uh, it's like speaking in front of people, turning on my camera on. It helped me bring courage, confidence in speaking. So thank you for the organizer team that you helped me in building my personality and confidence level for in a high level.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
So I think now we can end our program. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Bye bye.